turned and waved. "Hi, you must be Dink, Josh, and Ruth Rose. I'm Scoop Raker. I work with Judd and his friend Dean. They should be here any minute." Scoop raised the hood of his car, and more steam billowed out. He took a jug of water from the front seat, then unscrewed the radiator cap. Suddenly, he yelled and stuck his finger in his mouth. "You'd think I'd learned by now," Scoop said, shaking his head. He pulled a Band-Aid from his pocket, removed the covering, and wrapped the green Band-Aid around his finger. Just then, a long flatbed truck pulled up alongside Scoop's car. A brown tarp covered the truck bed, concealing something big and lumpy. The whole thing was tied down with ropes. The driver's door opened, and a tall, lanky guy hopped to the ground. He was wearing jeans, a short-sleeved shirt, and a cowboy hat. "Howdy," the man said, beaming at Dink, Josh, and Ruth Rose. "Hi, Judd," they all said at once. A man stepped out of the passenger's side of the truck. He was short and wiry and had black hair tied in a ponytail. He wore work boots, baggy shorts, and a flannel shirt with the sleeves ripped off. "Guys, I'd like you to meet my roommate and best friend, Dan Whitefield," Judd said. "Dean, this is Dink, Josh, and Ruth Rose." Dean walked around the truck toward the kids. He had a friendly smile and dark eyes. His shirt pocket was filled with pens. A ring of keys on his belt jangled when he walked. The kids shook hands with Dean. Then Judd and Dean made a fuss over Pal, who gave them both big, wet kisses. "Well, what do you say we get busy?" Dean said, glancing at the sky. "Rain by midnight, I bet." He started untying the ropes. Scoop climbed back into his car. "I passed the hotel on the way in," he said. "I'll go check on our room." He drove away with only a little steam escaping from under the hood. "Can we help?" Ruth Rose asked. Dean smiled at her. "My 3 favorite words," he said. "You guys can coil these ropes as we untie them," Judge said. "Just lay 'em on the ground." Josh told Pal to stay, and the kids pitched in. After a few moments, the ropes had all been removed. Dean and Judd yanked the tarp to the ground. When Dink saw what had made all those lumps, he jumped back. He was staring right at the head of a Tyrannosaurus Rex. "Meet Tyrone the Tyrannosaurus," laughed Judd. "He looks even better when he's not in pieces." Dink gulped. "Where did you get it?" he asked. "We bought him," Judd said. Josh grinned. "From a dinosaur store?" he joked. "No, from the man who built Tyrone," Dean said. "He planned to start a dinosaur theme park, but he lost interest. He put an ad in the paper, and we saw it and bought Tyrone and the truck." Why do you need a dinosaur?" Ruth Rose asked. "To raise money," Judd said. "Dean and I want to teach kids about the dinosaurs that used to live in Montana. We've decided to build a little museum on a piece of land behind the Dude Ranch. And Tyrone will be the star attraction," Dean added. "When we first saw Tyrone, he was in the guy's barn, all in pieces like you see him now. I developed a computer program to make him move and talk. We make money by taking him around the country and collecting donations." "Is Scoop a teacher too?" asked Dink. "No, we met Scoop in Wyoming. He was looking for work, so we hired him," Judd said. "He is in charge of hotel rooms, getting permission for us to set up outside schools, making the flyers, stuff like that. Scoop wants to work at the museum once it's built." Dean climbed up onto the truck bed. "Let's put this guy back together, Judd," he said. "How do you put him together?" Dink asked. "Easy, like building a model with an erector set," Dean said. He pointed to a box of large nuts, bolts, and cables on the truck bed. "What's Tyrone made of?" Ruth Rose asked. "Is he heavy?" "Not really," Judd said. He took the Tyrannosaurus's tail from Dean and laid it gently on the ground. "Tyrone's mostly fiberglass and rubber. His bones are aluminum. The teeth, toenails, and eyes are plastic." The kids gently touched one of the 6-inch-long teeth. "It looks so real," Josh said. "Careful, some of those edges are sharp," Dean said. He grinned and wiggled a finger that was wrapped in a green Band-Aid. They all looked over when Scoop's red car zoomed up. Scoop parked the car and climbed out with a stack of papers in his hand. "How'd you kids like to help out?" he asked. "Can you take these flyers around town?" Scoop handed the flyers to Ruth Rose. She looked at the top one. Beneath the picture of a Tyrannosaurus were the words, "Come meet Tyrone, the talking Tyrannosaurus, behind the high school, July 4, at noon. $1 donation per customer requested." "You 3 will get it free, of course," Judd said, looking over Ruth Rose's shoulder. Cool, Josh said. Who should we give them to? Dink asked. Anyone and everyone, Scoop said. Stores, friends, anyone who likes dinosaurs. Ruth Rose divided the stack of flyers into 3 smaller piles. They each took a pile. Will you guys watch Pal? Josh asked. No problem, Scoop said. The kids headed toward Main Street with their flyers. An hour later, the kids were back. The whole town is coming to see Tyrone tomorrow, Dink said. Excellent. So what do you think of him now? Judd asked, pointing to Tyrone. Tyrone stood balanced on his thick rear legs and tail. His body and tail stretched out longer than a school bus, and he was nearly as tall as Dink's house. His back feet were as long as Pal, who was sniffing a giant plastic toenail. It's... Dink couldn't find the right words. Judd and Dean laughed. Tyrone isn't full size, Dean said. An adult T-Rex would be even bigger. Come on, I'll show you what's inside this guy's belly. He unclipped his keys and inserted one of them into a little hole in Tyrone's side. When Dean turned the key, a small metal ring popped out. Dean pulled on the ring, and a door swung open on its hinges. Awesome, Josh said. It was totally hidden. Dean picked up a rubber wedge from inside and used it to hold the door open. Then he reached through the doorway and pulled down a set of folded, hinged steps. Have a look, he said. The kids kneeled on the stairs and peered inside the dinosaur's belly. Aluminum bars supported the walls. A row of hooks held tools and coils of rope and wire. There were no windows, and it was hot inside. The floor was partly covered by a piece of carpet. A laptop computer sat on a small table in the middle of the carpet. A bunch of gray computer cables snaked across the floor. A few of the cables climbed up the dinosaur's chest and disappeared inside its neck and head. The computer does everything, Dean said. I can move Tyrone's tail, mouth, and front feet just by clicking the mouse. He squeezed by the kids and stepped inside Tyrone's belly. I've put a loudspeaker up in Tyrone's head, Dean explained. He showed them a small microphone. I speak into this, and it sounds like the voice is coming from Tyrone's mouth. Can you make him talk now? Josh asked. That'll have to wait till tomorrow, Dean said. We've been on the road since about 5 this morning, and I'm pretty whipped. I need about 10 hours of sleep. Dean and the kids climbed out of Tyrone's belly, and he closed the door. Are you all staying at the Shangri-La? Ruth Rose asked. Judd and Scoop are, Dean said. I'm going to bed down here. He pulled a sleeping bag from inside the truck and dropped it on the ground. Why do you sleep outside? Dean asked. Dean grinned. Those two snore, he said, gesturing toward Scoop and Judd. Besides, I like sleeping under the stars. Plus, I guard Tyrone. In the morning, I'll go to the hotel and use their shower. Where can we get some good burgers? Scoop asked the kids, and breakfast tomorrow. Ellie's Diner, all 3 kids said. Ruth Rose pointed toward Main Street. It's between the pet shop and the fitness center, she said. Thanks for your help. We'll see you tomorrow, Judd said. The 3 men climbed into the red car, and Scoop drove off toward Main Street. A rumble of thunder over their heads sent the kids running for home.